Hello, everybody, and welcome to Native Honor Hours.
Get a little bit closer.
Yeah. Now it ruined your whole show, didn't it?
It did. I'm going home now.
Do any of you watch Big Bang Theory, where he has to knock on the door and say, Penny, 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 three times?
And then she goes off on some wild rant that doesn't have anything to do with the Indians.
I know. I'm just saying, since I said welcome Native Honor Hours first, Ed might be off for the rest of the show.
For our 3 or 4 listeners, we're here broadcasting from
the beautiful Jenkins. No, we're in the Jenkins
room on the campus of University of Nebraska at Omaha
on a rainy day.
On a rainy day, and you know what? We have a special show today.
We do.
We have a number of,
and not just because you're special.
Very special guests.
Yes.
Actually, we have some very dignified and special. Will provide some order.
Liz.
And
he's calling you dignified.
So this will be a big change from
you
our
and
usual
me?
show. So we're happy to be here. We have.
So we have to act dignified today, do we?
Yes. Well, we got 10 minutes of dignified when Cassie does, but it'll be longer than that.
Cassie,
today.
I forgot the talking stick. We were going to bring up a talking stick for Cassie's corner. When Cassie's holding the talking stick, no one else may talk. We're not mentioning any names.
It was just 1 week.
We're not mentioning any names.
I was testing Cassie's broadcasting skills. That's all.
I told her hold the talking stick, and if you start to go, bop you with the talking stick.
Well, we're here today. We have some special guests. Do you want to get right into the special guests?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
First, we're going to have Liz Lovejoy. She's going to talk to us about some events that she is sponsoring, right,
that
Liz?
we are supporting 100%. Come sit down, Liz.
Oh, good.
No, that's
Aren't you going to join us, Cindy?
You can handle it.
No, you need to because what we're going to talk about. Our little competition.
You can sit between us, honey.
So she won't hit me. You can be the buffer.
Oh, Liz will hit.
She won't hit me.
We've been working on breaking that habit, but Liz will hit. Make no mistake.
Okay. Well, Liz, you want to tell us first of all who you're representing?
I'm representing the Youth Suicide Prevention Program through the Indian Center.
You're going to have to speak up a little.
Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. All right. I'm representing the Youth Suicide Prevention Program through the Lincoln Indian Center. What else do you want me to say?
Well, that's a good start. And what are we going to be doing?
Tell us why you're visiting us today.
We're going to have a walk run October 19th at 11 o'clock at the UNO campus. We're encouraging the youth and other community members to participate in the walk run. I have registration forms and sponsorship forms for it.
You can pretty much leave out the run when it comes to me and Cindy.
We'll be walking.
You can do running motions.
You can run. You can do, what we're asking is just show up. You can walk, you can run, you can bike, you could skate, you can do whatever you want. Ed, you can drive.
You can drive?
You can do whatever you want. What we're asking for is...
Skateboarding? I don't know.
You know what?
It's my grandson. He would come if he could skateboard.
We'll bring him.
I don't.
What we're asking
You just have to keep up with him, that's all. You have to watch him.
What we're asking is show up and support us, please. Suicide has touched too many members in this community, and unless something is done about it, it's going to continue to be bad and possibly even get worse. What we're looking for is people to come and celebrate life, to help to show that there are people out there who are willing to work against teen suicide, who are willing to work with kids who have those thoughts. That's Liz's reason for being, is to help these kids and to help them out of it. So this run is celebrating life walk run. I'm thrilled that she came to us because I really can't think of anything that I would like to get behind more. If I can get off my big old behind and walk for 2
Amen.
miles, I'm sensing other people can. And I will challenge the old man at the other end of the table.
It's on.
In the red shirt that
It's on.
I will get more sponsors
You think
than
so?
you get. My sponsorship
That's-
dollar will be higher than your sponsorship dollar.
So what's the deal? Is there prizes for who gets the most
Yes, we're giving
or
prizes.
the most money?
Who can get the most sponsorships?
Yep,
So I can get 1,000 sponsors at,
$1 a piece.
$1 a piece?
Absolutely.
or if I got, say, 10 sponsors at 1,000 or $10 a piece. I mean, so what matters is who has the most sponsors.
Yeah, who has the most sponsorships?
Because I think I can beat her.
I don't think you can beat me. I don't think
can
you
beat
can
her.
beat me, Liz.
Kenny, can I beat her?
Kenny,
that?
if you sponsor him,
Literally
it's on.
and figuratively. No, literally, she'd smack me. So, but I think I can get the most sponsors. So is this just between you and me, or is this like a?
Well, everybody else is in on it too, but
We're
this is
encouraging
personal
everybody to do
between
it.
you and
I
me.
know. I'm gonna say I don't care about anybody else. I hope, I don't care who wins, but I just have to beat Cindy.
Yep,
That's
this
the
is
deal.
a side bet.
Hey, shall
Tell
we
them
have
what
whoever
you're doing
loses
for
has
this-
to shave an eyebrow? Well, in Cindy's case, you have to shave the whole thing.
Oh.
I'm glad you're sitting there, Liz.
That's okay. Wait until he brings me the list of teachers and he'll say, "Did you turn that in?" Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So is that our bet?
That's
What's our bet?
I'm not shaving anything off my face. Okay.
That's obvious.
Oh, this is even better. Whoever wins has to take the other one to Famous Dave's and gets to order whatever they want to.
Doesn't somebody
If
not
I
like
have a
Famous
coupon.
Dave's?
No coupons, Ed. You're gonna have to, what, and I've been gone from Famous Dave's for long enough. I think I can eat barbecue again.
Do they
I
have
want
a dollar
the
menu?
Big rack.
There has to be a dollar menu wherever we go, not to the.
The child committee.
But for everybody else, you and I will take ourselves out of that contest. But for everybody else, whoever sells the most, we're gonna have prizes, huh, Liz?
Yeah.
What
we're
are the
gonna have
prizes?
Me and Cindy are still discussing that.
Yes, we will be going out with donation letters and getting some sponsors, and
I'm
there'll
gonna
be at
need more of
least
these
4 or
because I'm gonna
5
fill
prizes.
this up.
You really think so?
Oh yeah,
You're gonna fill it up?
I'm gonna destroy her.
Smile at him.
She's gonna. She's gonna
I'm
have.
calling out both you guys.
She's gonna have like 2 or 3 sponsors, because everybody else is gonna sponsor me.
I don't know. I might have 2 or 3 sponsors, but if they each give a couple grand.
No, it doesn't matter. It does it. It's
Oh, who has the most
Sponsorship.
See, that's what I was trying to clarify.
Then how
Yeah.
about if I have one person who gives $1 1,000 times?
Ed's gonna get everybody in his family, that's why he's gonna have the most.
Who?
You're gonna get everybody in your family.
Remember, I have the most.
But here's
kids.
where it's good. I have friends and he doesn't. So I will get all my friends to do it. He might have family, I have friends.
You forget, I have students that I can bribe.
So do I. Your students. Tell me what Ed's offered and I'll top it.
So
Sherman could be bought for 2 Big Macs and a large fry.
So who do you think's gonna win between us two?
I don't know.
Oh, no, you
I'll
have to-
probably win.
You have to go on the record.
I
So
am not
Liz,
Who's
are
gonna
we,
win?
are we looking for kids of all ages? Is there an age?
It's open to the family. Anybody can come. If you want to bring your kids, bring your stroller. If elders want to come, we have wheelchairs that we can use, or they can bring their own wheelchairs to participate.
Or we might ask the elders to hand out waters to the runners. We want everybody to be involved because this really is a community issue. It's a community message, and we want from the youngest to the oldest there just saying, yeah, we care about this. We care about this issue. And I've known you for a long time, Liz, and you are amazing about this. You are going to make it happen. When you came to me with a fully formed plan and said, can you be in? I said, of course. So I'm really proud of you, too. You're one of the UNO students that I will be watching for the rest of your life.
The rest of my life?
Yeah. Try and get rid of me.
You see
what
that? She's like, I can't get away. You see, we have that recorded, don't we?
I think she's
That
going
was
to be living
priceless.
longer than me.
30 years from now, I'll still be responding to her Facebook page.
I know.
Did you really want to say that, Liz?
Come see me. We can talk about getting a protection order.
All right. For this, if you want a t-shirt, we're going to be giving t-shirts too. It's a $10 registration fee for that. Otherwise, walkers and runners can participate for free. The point of the sponsorship contest is to help raise money so we can provide T-shirts towards people who can't afford them.
Okay, can I clarify this as well? I read the page and it said paid on there. So even if she comes up with, say, more sponsors on the page, but they have to pay to count, right?
Yep.
So, all your family that signs up and doesn't
Ed's gonna be
pay.
standing there with the dollar bills. Here, sign this. Here's a dollar. Sign this. Here's a dollar.
You know what? And we should set a minimum. Can we do that between us two?
I'll go
A minimum?
for
What?
Because I don't want you, getting your family and sponsoring you for a penny.
If they're coming from Rosebud, it might be 5 cents.
I'm thinking at least $1, huh?
Okay. Okay.
least $1?
Lowest
it.
amount's a
Yeah,
dollar.
$1.
Okay. Because I know
Cassie's
that's
mine.
what she'd do. She'd break open her piggy
Monica?
bank and bring out all those pennies she's
Pennies,
got.
yeah, that would.
I think
Exactly.
Monica's gonna sponsor me.
I'm sponsoring Cindy.
What?
I'm sponsoring.
Kenny?
And then you're sponsoring me too, right? Oh, man, that hurts.
Kenny's sponsoring me too.
Have a bigger
Can
family
you have the
than
same
she
people?
does.
You can't have the same people.
And Monica gave me the special smile, which means she did. I think Monica's gonna sponsor me just to demoralize you.
I'm gonna remember that next time you want a sandwich.
A sandwich.
But please turn out, October 19th, 2013, 11 o'clock.
Is that a
Milo
Saturday?
Vale. It
It's
is
on a Saturday, and the Huskers are not playing on that day.
I don't care.
I'm just saying.
Is there like a rain contingency or no?
We're talking about maybe having.
Well,
it
we're
in the
talking
gym.
about you going to Hyper as the director of Native Studies and saying, if it's a rain day, can we have it in here and we'll walk on the track?
We'll talk. Maybe we can go to the field house.
Anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. Anywhere
Then you
on
can talk to your
campus.
buddy Trev.
Trev's not my buddy.
I thought he was your buddy.
Here's the thing, remember what am I, oh yes, staff. Do they like to talk to staff? No.
Oh, yes, they
Who
love
do they
talking.
talk to? Big dogs. And you, in this one case, are a big dog.
This lone incident. All right, well, I look forward to the challenge.
Me too. So if you want registration forms, please contact Liz. We've got a Facebook page up there. I've already shared it. What's the name of the Facebook page?
It's called the Youth Suicide Prevention Walk Run. Also, if you guys want to, you can call me at 402-290-7194. And
Please tell me that's not your cell number.
It's my work cell.
Oh, good.
And I can fax, email, or snail mail the registration and sponsorship forms to you as long as I get them back.
And I will have sponsorship forms in my office this weekend at the, how do you say, what's Taylor's event called?
Hidewache.
Hidewache?
Yeah. Are you gonna set up a booth and get sponsors down there?
I might. I will have sponsorship forms with me down there, so if you want to pick up a sponsorship form, I have sponsorship forms in my office, the Office of Multicultural Affairs. I will make sure that there's sponsorship forms available in the Office of Native Studies on campus too.
And they will be, the ones that are in the Native American Studies office will have my name on there. So when you go in there, you're gonna be signing up to sponsor me.
So if you sign in to see him, you have to make sure you drop $1
Yeah. Bring a
before you go
dollar,
into
bring
his
a
office
dollar.
to visit him.
Kenny, you're sponsoring me,
Kenny,
right?
Kenny. Kenny's mine.
Kenny, who butters your bread, brings you sandwiches? Yes.
But who gives you love and support?
Monica. Not you.
That's okay, I have powers.
Yeah, you can have John Powers. We
So
don't.
honey, thank you so much
Hey,
for
can
coming.
we ban John Powers from this?
And and we would like to have you back at least a couple more times before then to remind the community about it. So plan on coming down a couple more. And anything you need help with, contact Ed.
And did you want to mention that you're going to be having that educational booth at the Powell?
Oh yeah, I'll be having a booth at the Metro College and at the Metro Community College. The theme there is going to be suicide, and we're going to have a memory of those who completed suicide. That's what it's called. It's not committed suicide. It's completed suicide.
Completed suicide?
Yeah.
How come?
Because they completed. They completed it.
What's
It was
the-
it was opposed to an attempt. It was
I see.
completed.
I see.
And committed, it makes it sound like, that.
Well, and I
It was a
talked to
sign
some
off.
people today, and if you have a family member and you feel comfortable sharing the name, make a sign and carry it, so people know who you're walking for.
And that's kind of like what we're going to be doing at the Metro Powwow too. We're going to have a memory wall, and I didn't really think I was going to be talking about Metro Powwow.
Please
but,
do. Honey, we
uh,
love the Metro Powwow. We support it 100%.
But we're going to have a memory wall for people to sign or to put feathers up on this wall in memory of those who completed suicide or may have attempted suicide. So we can have the community be aware of how much of a epidemic suicide is in the Native American community. And we plan on having the youth draw pictures of what sparks their life, what they want to be when they grow up. And we're going to have them in an honor dance to appreciate them and try to push them forward to fulfill their dreams when they grow up, and also to have a memory of those who did complete or attempt suicide, because though many people who do attempt and complete suicide, it's because they're severely depressed and they didn't get the help that they needed. And it's more or less kind of like a sickness that they couldn't cure, so they found their own way of fixing it. So that's one
So
thing
will
we're
you
trying
have
to
pamphlets
get
with like the
noticed.
warning signs and?
I'll have that available at my
Yay,
table.
good,
And after the honor dance, the Nebraska Urban Youth and Health Coalition is going to provide QPR training to the community to participate, and that QPR stands for question, persuade, refer. Yeah, and it basically it trains you on how to handle a situation if somebody should tell you that they feel like giving up, or they're feeling hopeless, and that training will help you figure out on what to do if you fall into that kind of situation.
Are you going to have numbers for us to refer them to?
Yeah, you can.
Perfect.
For us, see what I do case management. So for me, what I would do is, well, there's the hotline, of course, that anybody can call. But what we would do is we would talk to them and we would refer them to the proper counseling agency that would be good for them, so that they can receive the counseling that's needed at that time. Because there's points where people who may be suicidal, where if they get past that point, they're not going to talk about it and they're just going to do it. So when they're talking about it, it's their way of crying out for help before they actually do it. So they're trying to see if other people care in a way. But one thing I did wanted to say is that the reason why we have a youth suicide prevention program is because the rate for suicide in adults is a lot higher. So the reason why we have a youth prevention program for suicide is to stop it before it happens. So we want to lift their self-esteem and not let depression or any trauma affect their life.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that Pine Ridge has the highest rate of suicide in the United States.
I think it would be true. I really don't know, but I know that suicide is 2 times more than any ethnicity across the nation, and that's pretty bad when we're only 2.5% of the nation. So that within itself displays how much of an epidemic suicide is.
Well, and it's a scary thing to deal with. I talk to kids all the time. I've had some question about certain kids, and I've taken them right over to counseling, but what about those kids who don't have someone to talk to? I mean, how can we help the kids who don't have someone to talk to?
That's what the case management is for. We work with them, and what we do is we refer them to counseling, and we follow them all the way through until they're completed. And we make sure that everything's okay. And if, maybe there might be a counselor that, they kind of liked him, but then they didn't feel comfortable talking to him, and then they wanted to leave. So then we would find another counselor for them to go to. That's what kind of case management we would do. And, any other situations if they had to deal with court or anything like that.
Good.
So that's
Well,
what
they're
I'm
lucky
here
to
for.
have you, because really, you have always been someone who stands up for what they believe in and make sure other people know about it. And I'm really proud of you for doing this. You've done a great job in this job. Putting together this walk run pretty much by yourself has been an amazing thing for you to do. And anything we can do to help you out, we are here.
Thank you. Oh, and then did we say how we're going to do the walk run, where we're going to walk?
Oh, we probably would have told them that.
Yeah, we're going to start at Elmwood, and then we're going to walk all the way around campus, and then end at Elmwood.
Yep.
We're hoping to have somebody maybe cook something for us to eat at Elmwood, and maybe possibly, if anybody's willing to do it, could have a round dance at Elmwood Park at the end. Those are some things that I'm hoping that might happen, but I think it'll be good, because then you'll incorporate, the culture and, the health awareness too.
Well, and maybe a family will come to this and read your information and think, whoa, that's my son. I didn't realize this. And when you're together in a group like that, sometimes it's easier to talk about that. Because I know, for instance, for my family, if someone does something like that and nobody speaks about it, it's done. You don't speak about it. You don't speak about what got them there. You just don't speak about it. And maybe if enough of us get together and really talk about what has happened in our families, and when a child commits suicide, it's really no reflection on anybody other than where he or she is in their life right now. And maybe if enough people get up and say, my cousin tried to do it, my sister tried to do it, my brother did it, maybe it'll open the doors for other people who have been afraid or ashamed to talk about it, to see that it's nothing to be afraid or ashamed of. We can help. And that's just kind of what I believe Liz has been doing since she's had this job. She's been going everywhere and telling them, I am here to help. What do you need? Give me names. And I really think you're doing a great job.
And that's what we're trying to do. And, I have ran into community members who still believe that talking about suicide is a stigma. I had one person who I was trying to participate in an event, and they just did not want to do it because they think that we shouldn't talk about suicide at all. But the thing is if we talk about it, then we can stop it. If we can comfortably talk about what's wrong with us and talk about, why it happened or why they attempted or how come their family member did it, then there's ways that we can work around it and try to prevent it for the future.
And you provide a safe place.
Yeah.
You provide a safe place for the kids, and that's more important than anything, because a lot of these kids have no safe place. They don't have a safe place at home. They don't have a safe place at school. They don't feel safe within their group of friends, or they don't have any friends. So what you're doing that's really important is providing a safe place where they can talk and be protected.
And everything's confidential too.
Yep.
And with the parents, I want to reassure them that first we're going to need the parents' permission to work with them, but all the the case management and the documentation that I'll do, it's going to be it's going to be private. It's going to be confidential. We abide by the HIPAA laws. So
Well, and we as parents need to quit saying, oh, not my child. We don't know. Oh, not my child. And by saying that, we're closing a door of communication with our child, who may or may not be in dire straits. You don't know everything your kids are going through. We can't know. But there are warning signs, and Liz will have a brochure with the warning signs on, and it's just a very worthwhile cause, and I'm really pleased we could help you.
thank you. And the reason why we're having this event, we're not going to talk about suicide ongoing about, it can get depressing, but the whole point of us doing this is to, get people, inspired or in life or have a better self-esteem. We just want to push them to do more. We plan on having more events in the future too, to get the kids up and going, because we don't want to see them fall down or fall into depression. So, but yeah, thank you for allowing me to work with you guys for the walk run.
You are our favorite student. How could we not? You and I started at the same time, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? And she ultimately finished. Maybe one day there's hope for you.
Slap him, Liz. Just slap him right across the face. Where's that talking stick?
Well, Liz, we'll keep up to date on this, and should we have a running total of
Yep.
both of our sponsors?
Yep. We'll start every week. We'll put up our sponsorship numbers.
Okay, I'm
You
gonna
can let
start
me
with
know.
You will
Kenny.
lie.
I
You
will update
lie.
it on Facebook.
Look at him.
What do you
He's
mean,
smiling
what?
at me. Look at him.
I will do
lie.
what?
He'll say he'll always make me go first. This is my prediction. I will always go first. Yeah, I got 50. Got 51.
I will,
He will.
because ultimately, I'm gonna
Monica,
beat her.
you have to make sure that he doesn't fib on his numbers. You've got 8 kids. You've beaten me already.
You know what? I hope
Can we put
you
grandchildren
do
on
give
there?
me a run for the
Oh,
sponsorship
I will
money,
give you a run.
because I would hate to embarrass you too much.
You know what? No, you wouldn't. It would make your year. And for the rest of the year, every radio show you would say, "Hey, how about that sponsorship, Cindy?"
Yeah, I know, but I
You know what? Maybe I should let you win just to build up your ego a little bit.
well, we'll see. It's gonna be on. So, thanks
Yeah.
for coming, visiting with us, and we'll keep all 3 of you
Talk to me
posted.
next week. We will do a letter,
Donation.
donation letter, and we will get it out.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much,
Is
Liz.
she ready to bring on our next guest?
I'm ready. Thank you so much, Liz.
Will we have another special guest with us? Mr. Howard Rayner? You ready? Yeah, ready. Come on up.
And I will let you handle this one because if it's serious, I shouldn't be involved.
No, it's not gonna be like that. Get back up. Oh, she has to go smoke. Well, we're extremely pleased to, she's gotta get her cigarettes. She's not kidding anybody.
I'm walking my Liz out, leave me.
Do you see what I have to put up with? We have with us, Sherman, you wanna join us? We have one of our students here. If Cindy isn't gonna be involved,
I don't know what I have to bring to this.
well, who knows? We'll see. We have with us Mr. Howard Rayner, and you wanna introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you're here for?
Yeah, it's been a real joy to come to Omaha and to have the opportunity to work with young people, Native young people. And so we had a great day today, and I got to meet some outstanding Native young students that are in high school, middle school. And it's gratifying because, you know, when you look at Indian education today, and you look at people who are striving to make a difference on college campuses, high schools, middle school, it's amazing how many talented Native young people we have, and their abilities and their creativity. I saw that today. We had close to 100 Native students from 4 schools. And my observation was that they're waiting for somebody. They're waiting for something to happen. And the problem is we don't have enough Native American, I would call them motivators or people that can inspire them. And so it's hard for them to come to a gathering and to hear somebody say, you know, you have it, you're intelligent, you're beautiful, you're creative, and all these things, because the world of education it all has to do with test scores. It all has to do with, if you don't make this score, if you don't pass this test, and you don't do this, then you're either inferior or something's wrong with you mentally. But yet these Native students, nobody takes a test to what's in your heart. How much courage does it take to come to school when you come from a home or an environment that is so challenging for them? And so teachers look at students today and they look at Native students and they say, well, you know what? They didn't do very well, so I guess that's it. For me, I look at Native students in two ways. They have lots of potential and a lot of possibilities. And you have to start from where they're at, and that is they're still wrestling with all their past issues. They're wrestling with home life, they're wrestling with peer pressure, they're wrestling with self-destructive behavior, they're wrestling with the image of being Native today. They're questioning who they are. Why am I here in this period of time? And so, to me, it is really important and vital that a person come in and not only tell them positive things and affirmation and all these things, but more to allow them to have the opportunity. For example, we did an exercise where I issued a challenge for them to take $25,000 and to create the first Native youth powwow, a 5-state powwow. And I thought to myself, you know, this is going to be interesting to see what they do. And these kids, my goodness, they came up with phenomenal things. Now, if they were in class and you asked a non-Native teacher, could you use that exercise? Could it work to get kids to start speaking, leadership roles, team building, talking about money management, talking about gathering people, communication? Just a simple little exercise like that will give a Native student to say, finally, somebody gave me something that's relevant. Finally, somebody told me something I can address. And finally, I can use my creativity and my talent to make something happen if given the chance. Well, there was no test score. It wasn't fail or pass. It wasn't A, B, C, or D, or F. It was simply an acknowledgement that you do have the capacity and the potential to use your brain, to use your heart, to use your talents, and to make something happen. And I think, you know, in education, everybody is struggling across America with the right program, with the right thing to get more kids to pass tests. And that's the essence of public education. If we can pass this test, and we can pass the SAT and pass the ACT, or we can do things that were told us, and then we have to regurgitate these things. I really think that kids are wondering, what is education really? When I get a high school diploma, what am I coming out with? And Native parents really should question that and say, my kid graduated from high school and he got this little diploma, and what can he do? What's he capable of?
You know, I adopt that philosophy in my classroom, and I call it what, Eric?
The Native pedagogy?
Native pedagogy.
Uh-huh.
All the things that you're saying, have I been doing?
And food.
And food. I don't, gotta have food. I've been called crazy, and I think if administrators found out what I do, I probably wouldn't be teaching here long. But that's my philosophy in my classrooms. I don't care about tests. I don't care about points. I don't care. What I want them to do is become better people, and to be able to acquire the ability to think and to be able to apply things in life.
Now, this young man was here, and he attended, and he kind of saw a few things that we're doing. Maybe we should ask him his observation.
Before we do that, can I, just one thing, our vast listening audience wanted you to, to know where you're from.
Okay.
What you do,
Oh,
what
I'm sorry.
tribe. You know,
Okay.
we went right into it, and they're like, can you get them to
Okay.
tell us?
Okay.
Just, I think I introduced you as Howard Rayner. You're here from...
Yes. I've been working with Native young people for over 35 years across the nation and in Canada. And I'm originally from Taos Pueblo, New Mexico, near Santa Fe. And I'm retired from Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah.
Go Cougars, right?
And yes, and so now I'm on a different dimension and on a different road, and that is trying to present myself as an elder There's a person that's been around the block, a person that says, hey, you know what? If you'll take this path, if you take this suggestion, if you'll do this, you won't have to have a lot of shortcomings that a lot of us have had to go through. And when you look at Indian education today, I start with Native Head Start. Because the Native Head Start program in America, what a program, because it involves the parents, it involves the child, it involves the teachers, it involves the community. The problem with the Native Head Start program, Native Alaskan Head Start program, is that it ends just when they need it the most. So you went to school and you had hard times, I had hard times, you had hard times in a public school. But with Native Alaskan Head Start program, they give them a little foundation, and the parents are involved. I think, why don't we have that going into middle school? And why don't we have that going into high school? Because Native students are, everywhere I have gone, I have found creative, talented, artistic, athletic, you name it, and they can do it. It's just that we are so head-bent on these tests and testing. And people would say, well, what would you do to measure their success? Or what would you do?
Assessment is a key.
Yeah, assessment.
Keyword.
And so assessment means federal dollars. Truly?
It does.
And state dollars. And so when you look at the Indian student, and he's a number.
And they're tied to arbitrary standards.
Exactly. So I'm saying we don't have enough motivators, we don't have enough people to inspire these kids to say, you know, if you fail that test, you'll do better on the next one, and here's how to do it. If you want to finish high school, take some of these other classes. If you want to go to college, a simple remedy to me is the ability to read. So Native parents out there, if you want your child, your son or daughter, to have a fighting chance in college, give them the gift of reading. Reading is essential. It's the key. It's the foundation. And they may be the most talented athlete, but if they can't read.
See, I want to point you in a direction. Oh, she left. I was going to give Cassie some, she'll be here. She'll
But
be back.
let's go back.
But in terms of what you're doing, when she comes back, Cassie Carroll has been involved in what they call primetime reading.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll talk more about that. But that's exactly to address some of those issues about reading.
And I applaud any Native organization, any Indian program that promotes reading and allows. I was at one school, and I'll never forget that they had a reading night where the parents came into the library with their child and read with them, and you're probably having the same thing. And you know what? It's going to pay off. It doesn't look like it, but a child that says, hey, somebody took interest in me to show me a book, give me a book, or give me something to start. But I want to go back to this young man who was observing what happened today, because when you're teaching, that's one thing. When you're an observer, it's another thing. So what did you see today?
You might want to introduce yourself too.
To
For those that may have forgotten,
listening
yeah.
audience.
So,
Eric Sherman, I recently graduated here from UNO. Ed's been so kind to bring me along in some of the programs
had to
that we
carry
have.
him.
I wouldn't go that far. But, as I was walking around the room today, and when I got there, you were speaking in the morning, and it was a very captive audience. You know, a lot of times you get high schoolers in there, and you get a lot of chatter and things going on, but they were really paying attention. And at that time, you had asked them to close their eyes and start to imagine or visualize certain things. Later on, that was right before lunch break, and then as lunch break hit, there was a student in a wheelchair, and they asked that I would bring him up here to this bathroom, and then another young man came with us. And I think that young man, both of them were inspired. We started to talk as we rode the elevator, and they both spoke of what I'm going to do when I'm in college. This is what I'm planning on doing. And so it seemed like that break from the assessment, the the break from the norm, it really went to where they were at right now. And it was pretty cool to listen to what they wanted to do. And I just encouraged them, because I had been thinking about that with my own children. And I said, tough times, everybody's going to have tough times when you're in school. It doesn't matter whether it's high school, middle school, college, they all present their unique problems. And so what I was telling them and my children as well is to visualize what you want your life to be, and what is your everyday life going to be like? What do you want that to be like? And so I told these young guys, you're going to have challenges and things are going to come up, family, just external. But if you have a goal, if you have a landing spot and you know what you want it to look like, all that will kind of fall by the wayside. It'll be easier to get through at least, because you know where you want to go.
So what would you like to do, Eric, if given the chance?
Honestly, I'd like to make a difference in something in the Native community. We're working with this emergency management on the tribal level, and I'd like to see tribal governments be able to make a difference in their communities when it comes to what affects them. And it wouldn't have to be like a weather-related incident. I mean, we could look at reading, alcoholism, we could look at a number of different issues, but how does it affect our people? Because I think emergency takes on many different faces,
Yeah.
And so ultimately I'd like to get paid as part of it, but but I think money is only a small part of
a little bit bigger than that.
Well,
Well,
Can I interrupt and have him share a story with you
yeah,
about his daughter?
yeah,
He told me last week,
okay.
the librarian?
the librarian.
Okay, yes. Proud
I'll give you a
father
chance to to brag on your daughter a bit.
moment. It was her open house at school, and so she was showing us around and everything, and we were walking down the hallway, and there was a staff member sitting there, and she flagged us down and said, "Stop, I'd like to tell you something about your daughter." And so we went over, and she said, I've been a librarian here at this middle school for 15 years, and get a new group of students in every year, and I'll tell them as they enter the library, pick, quick. And that's from a book. And so she'll say, if you can tell me what book that's from, I'll give you a prize. For 15 years, nobody's been able to answer this until my daughter, Erica Gale Sherman, walked
Yay!
in, and automatically she knew. So, and she's been a reader, and
What was the name of that book again?
because of Winn-Dixie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it either.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great
Wonderful.
story.
Well, you see, when it comes down to it, you have to ask 3 questions. Number 1, what is the capacity for a Native young person today? In other words, what are they capable of? Number 2, what's on their mind? What's in their heart? Is there any test that indicates that, or even gives a reasonable opportunity for a Native student to say, this is how I feel, this is what I really want, this is what I'm after? And the third question is, what ultimately will they turn out to be? And that's why we're here. That's why these universities are here, to take young men like this, Eric, and say,
He ain't that young.
what,
I knew it.
what does he want to do ultimately, and get paid to do it well? So I'm going to share something with him, because I think it's vital, and you will represent hundreds of Indian Native American men, just like you, who are in that same position, wondering what to do, what to share, what to give, now that you have some education, some experience, and contacts. So what I would say to you is very simple, is that when the door opens, take it. Native people sometimes hesitate when a door opens. They say, we want you to do this, or we would like you to do this. Well, I'm not ready, or I'm not capable, or choose somebody else. That door of opportunity may not knock very often, but it will in life. It will come sooner or later. So be ready for opportunity. It's coming. Number 2, the greatest gift you can give to your children, which is obviously is paying off, is that gift of reading. As a parent, they see you reading, they're going to read. And so with these kids, they don't see very many Native people reading. And so they're saying, well, why should I read? Because, but if you'll teach your child or your children to read, it's the greatest gift you can give them. And the last thing is that powerful word, encouragement. The more we encourage and tell them, someday you're going to do this. Someday you'll become this. Someday I'll see you doing this. And if that was reinforced by teachers, and that was reinforced in a curriculum, my gods, how could we stop Native students? We couldn't. Because affirmation and validation creates results. It doesn't hinder, it doesn't discourage, it encourages. So if you as a dad continue to tell your daughter and say, you know what? Gosh, I'm going to get you another book, and I'm going to do this for you because you are just the bomb. You are awesome. And probably you'll become a professor, or you'll be you'll run a tribal program, or you'll help in the medical field. Why not raise the bar? Why not tell kids what they're capable of? And their capacity is unlimited. Because when you think of all the scholarships that are available for Native Americans today, we don't have enough Native American high school graduating kids to fulfill them. And they're out there, and they're waiting, and that door of opportunity shuts. And when it shuts, it's discouraging. Because then we go back to the alcoholism and the self-defeating behavior and all these things that just seem to just chain us and hold us from our capacity and our potential and our possibilities for a powerful future. What do you think, Eric?
I probably need to change my ways because I was telling these guys they can't do anything.
No, I especially with girls, my daughter's been accused of being bossy. And and so I've
You have one of those too?
Yeah.
No.
But I flipped the script on it because it seems like if a young man is, bossy, or however you want to put it, they're seen as a leader. But if a young girl is bossy, it's seen as a bad thing. So I say it's CEO in training. That's what I tell her. And the same with my son. I tell him that they're gonna do great things. And I think that's really the only way to do it with them. And no matter, like you say, who we run into, you obviously speak all over the nation. And so I'll take that. Just like the young man out in the hall today, I was just trying to encourage him and tell him you will do great things.
Well, I would like to just end my part of this program today by telling you something that really worries me with this generation. And as I travel throughout Indian country, I'm seeing it more and more pronounced. And there's this one disease it's contagious, and it's called passiveness. When we become passive as an individual and passive as a people, we're done for. Because you cannot move things when people are passive. Passive people are waiting for something to happen to them. Passive means I'm not willing to extend myself or give 100%. Passive means I'll just take the minimum because that's all I deserve. So that disease scares me to death. So what do tribal leaders do? Some tribes give them lots of money to kids and say, here's your per capita. Wish you well. No accountability, no responsibility. And so kids take that money, and you see the results in many of these communities, and it's a cemetery full of young people who are dying unnecessarily. Why? Because people want to say, we love you, and so we'll give you these things. But in the old day of teaching, our elders were not passive. They had to be aggressive, and they had to be doers, or they died. That was their choice. If you're passive, you won't make the next winter. If you're passive, we'll have no meat on the table. If you're passive, so when we became entrenched with government handouts and commodities and we said to ourselves, we can't do anything on our own because the federal government has to take care of us. We created another generation and another generation. Slowly, that passiveness began to work. So when you take kids in a public school, Indian students, and you say, all I want for 1 hour is 100%. That's all I want. And they look at you like, well, up to this point, I've only been getting away with 30% of effort. If we are to build Indian nations and to build Indian communities that have Indian power within them, we've got to reverse the passive to proactive. Proactive people. I'll take the chance. I'll go do this. It's like this young lady on herself taking a proactive approach, starting a suicide prevention walk. Well, it starts with one person, and then somebody says, hey, you know what? I'm going to join that because something happened in my family. It's proactive.
And I'm gonna beat Cindy.
Yeah, and I'm going to beat Cindy. So the next thing that worries me now, I'll conclude with this, that's that disease of passive that just seems to be engulfing our young people. And I just think to myself, they need a shot. And that shot better be pretty strong. It better be an antibiotic that will really start to work on their body and mind and spirit. And that is, you're capable of more. You can do more. When you ask students, what are you going to do after graduation from high school? I don't know. I don't know. You ask a native person that graduates from college, I hope I get a job. I hope I do this. If they are proactive all the way to that point, somebody's going to hire them. Because Indian America is looking for proactive people that get the job done. Whether it's in federal government or state or local or Indian communities, they get the job done. And the last thing I want to say that concerns me, and it really worries me a lot, is that today I ask anybody if they would offer a blessing on the food. A simple little task. Just 15 years ago, if you said that, you would have people raising their hand and jumping up and saying, I'll do it. And I'll do it in my language, or I'll do it in this. And now you have a generation being raised because they were not taught by example to offer a blessing, to thank the Creator for that food. Thank the people that made this thing happen. Our ancestry is based on a spiritual foundation. That's what it's based on. That's how we survived. That's how we made it. And now this generation, if you talk about the Creator, public education says, oh, don't talk about spiritual things, don't talk about God, don't talk about the Creator, don't talk about, because it's separation of church and state, and the Indian student is confused because he says, well, man, the way I was taught, the Creator was 7 days a week. And it's true in your entire life. So you take spirituality, and man, it was fabulous for this one young man to get up, offer a humble prayer. Somebody taught him how to do it. He was taught by example. My grandmother taught me by example the power of connecting with the Creator. So when I talk like this, either to adults or to young people, I get a glassy-eyed look like, where are you coming from? What is this all about? It's very simple. If you're proud to be a Native American, if you're proud of your heritage, if you're proud of your culture, you're proud of your bloodline, it's laced to that spiritual values that our Native people prayed morning, day, and night. For what? For survival, for better days ahead, to have some buffalo meat on the table, to save their children from disaster, from attack. They were a prayerful people. And so if we want this generation to be the next generation, to preparing for the next generation, they need a heavy dose of spiritual values in their life. And that's, to me, the foundation is a young person offering a prayer, learning how to stand up, because nowadays, it's politically incorrect, or we have separation of church and state, and we have all these things. So people are telling our people to say, you know what? toss your spiritualities away. I say no. I said, the Creator's still here. In my book, what do you think, Eric?
I would agree. I hope Channel's listening.
No, I agree with what you say, and whenever we have an event here at UNO, we always start and end with a prayer. And I've been trying to encourage some of these young guys to, because when we do that, it's like, will you do that? Can you do that? Like, yeah, I can, but you guys need to start learning and taking responsibility to do this as well. So hopefully, we'll record this and then we'll show this to all our young guys out there that they need to step up and start doing
Well,
something.
think about this haunting thing. How long will the elders live? It's just like Cindy. I don't know how old she is. I don't know how old you are. But watch this. Once we lose the teachers and the mentors and your spiritual teachers, and they leave, who's going to replace them? That's a haunting question. Number two, who's gonna offer the prayers if they can't do it now in front of their own peers? Who's gonna do it? And so when you have an Indian gathering and people say, well, we got Elder so-and-so and he'll come over and he'll pray for us, and he doesn't show up, then what? It happened to be up in Canada. We were waiting for this elder to show up to offer the blessing on the day, and he couldn't make something happen with his truck. So I just jumped in and I said, folks, what do we do here? What do we do? Do we start without him or do we go on and one of you pick it up? Silence. You know who offered the prayer?
You did.
A 7-year-old.
Oh, good.
A 7-year-old, and she came up and she took the microphone and she prayed for the adults. And when I saw that, after the workshop, I went to her and I said, you know, somebody has taught you well to acknowledge the Creator in all things. And this is what she said, Mr. Rayner, because of what happened today, you can count on me. 7 years old. Now, all the others him-hawed around. Everybody was looking who's going to do it. And so the crisis that Indian America is heading towards is who's going to be that person to step up who's 19, who's 25, who's 28, who's 17, and carry the tradition on. If they don't, you can expect more rough times ahead for Indian people.
Well, thank you. I agree with you, everything you said. Appreciate you coming and sharing with us your thoughts, and hopefully we will have this recorded and we can play it again.
Thank you.
And especially for some of our students here at UNO, I think they need to hear the words you had to say today.
Thank
So I
you.
appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
We'll turn some time over to our Cassie's Corner segment, and I promise I'll be quiet and won't interrupt.
Okay, am I on now? Okay. Hi, everybody. Cassie's Corner, and I've got a lot of stuff to cover, so here we go. First of all, the harvest celebration is this weekend, Saturday at Turner Park. And so please come on out for that. It starts at 12 noon. Really excited about that, looking forward to it. Next Saturday is the Fort Omaha Intertribal Powwows, so everybody get their outfits ready and come out and dance. I just wanted people to know that we will be doing a clown dance at that powwow. It'll be a clown dance contest, so anybody, a clown dance is so much fun to watch, and we don't know who you are, so the only way that you're picked as the winner is by audience participation, meaning we clap. Whoever claps the loudest, gets the loudest clap, is the winner of the clown contest. And there will be a monetary prize on that, so please come out for that. I just want to mention, next week there will be some promos for the Fort Omaha Powwow, and one of them is a lecture with our MC, Garen Goons. I think a lot of you guys know who he is. And he will be at the South Omaha campus on Friday, September 27th, from 10:30 to 11:30. Garen is a professional Native American dancer, singer, flute player, storyteller, and he will, I think he'll be there with his group, the Many Moccasins Dance Troupe. He specializes in the art of fancy feather dancing and traditional prairie chicken dancing. So come out for that. It's always a good show. It's in the Industrial Training Center, room 120 on the South Omaha Metropolitan Community Campus. On our next Circle of Grandmothers meeting is October the 5th, and we're calling it our Fall Harvest. So our potluck will be Fall Harvest Foods, October 5th, Saturday at noon. And this week, or on October 5th, we're going to be meeting at a different place than we usually meet. So I'm going to be handing out flyers. The flyers posted on Facebook, and I'll be dropping off flyers at different programs, different areas. And I will have flyers at the Fall Harvest Powwow on Saturday, and I will have flyers at the Fort Omaha Powwow. And another thing I'm real excited about is Prime Time will be starting up.
Yay!
And I liked what the last gentleman had to say, and one of the things he stressed that was so important to our Native students is reading. And this is what our program, Primetime Family Reading, is about. And I wholeheartely agree with him that, you know, you need to read to your children for them to develop an interest in it, and that's what we do at our prime time. We start October 1st, every Tuesday for 6 weeks. We have food at 5:30, and from 6 to 7, we'll be reading a couple of books. We will also have a storyteller from the community come in and either read a story or tell a story from their tribal affiliation. So that starts, and that's geared for Native American children ages 6 through 12, I believe, are the ages that we aim that for. So, and if you need transportation is provided. So you can call the Willa Cather Library, or you can call me, Cassie. I'm on Facebook. So if you have any questions on Prime Time, go ahead and contact me. Also, I saw posted, I forget where this was posted, but there is going to be a Lakota spiritual leader in Omaha on Sunday, September 22nd at the First Central Congressional Church. And his name is David Swallow Jr. He's a Lakota spiritual leader. And he's traveling all the way from his home near Wounded Knee. And David is coming to share with Omaha his unique vision of the earth, humanity, and our treatment of one another as we walk this earth plane. So regardless of your creed or race, please feel free to join us. So that's Sunday, September 22nd at 2:00 p.m. at the First Central Congressional Church on South 36th Street, 421 South 36th Street. And there's no expense. Of course, love offerings are welcome to help cover his travel expenses. And another thing that's coming up, and this is nationwide, and I just wanted to get it out there in the community to get a feeling on how everybody feels about it. And it's been posted on Facebook, and it's called Rock Your Mocks. And what it is an identity movement and encouraging our Native people to wear their moccasins on that day. And that's November 15th. So we as Indigenous people will wear our moccasins on this day. I encourage that. I'm all for showing our identity. I have gotten one negative comment saying that she felt that wearing any kind of regalia outside of the dance arena was disrespectful. So we're not asking for people to wear their regalia. We're only asking if they have moccasins to show your pride in your Native heritage and wear your moccasins that day. So that's November 15th. and it's called Rock Your Mocks, and you can find that on Facebook. I believe that's, let me see what else have I got here. And of course, Liz talked about the Walk for Suicide, which will be in October, and she'll talk more about that. Oh, and the last thing I want to talk about is our Native Book Club meeting was well attended last night at the Village Inn, and our next meeting is scheduled for October 20th, and the book for discussion is Red Weather by Janet McAdams. Now, Janet McAdams, one of the reasons we picked this book was because the English department is bringing her to do a reading here at the university. And she'll be doing that reading and signing her books on November the 6th at 7 p.m. And I'm not sure where the location is yet, but I'll fill you guys in later on that. But our native book for discussion is Red Weather by Janet McAdams. So I hope to see a lot of you guys out there at the powwow. I'm really looking forward to the powwow in Turner Park. This is the first one that they've ever had in Turner Park, so I'm all excited about that. And it sounds like there's a lot of good organization for this powwow, and of course the Fort Omaha powwow the following week. So hopefully we'll have fantastic weather for both of the powwows, and I just look forward to seeing a lot of the community out there and non-Indian community. Please come out. I think you really enjoy watching natives dancing and singing and having a good time, and there'll be food provided. At the Fort Omaha powwow, we'll have vendors, craft vendors, we'll have lots of food. So it's going to be a good time for all of us in the community, native or non-native, it doesn't matter. See you guys. I'll be here next week to update you on the community events. Okay.
Yay, thank you. Thank you for bringing some class to a panel that might at times be sadly lacking.
We won't mention any names, but I think you know who I'm talking about.
Now can we start making fun of each other?
I think we should.
I had to contain myself and not. I felt like, oh man, I can make a wisecrack here, but I
I wanted to
can't do
take a
that.
little nap back there. I sat down on that couch and I thought, I'm going.
Well, you do that anyway.
Can I ask your guys' opinion about that Rock the Mocks, how you feel about it?
Yeah, sure.
What did I miss?
Oh.
Are we rocking mocks?
Yeah.
Yeah. November 20th,
November
October.
15th.
I'd just say you're mock rockers.
I don't
Here's what
have
they're
any
asking.
mocks.
They're saying rock your mocks as it's just it's a solidarity. They're asking one day for all natives to wear their moccasins. It's a solidarity thing.
That's in November. That's gonna be pretty cold.
Right.
I have boots, man. I got
Just
fringe
saying.
moccasin boots.
And I'd have to get some.
But
Either
as a
that or go down to
concept,
Rebecca's and buy some.
Where's the Sherman? Go get the talking stick because really, I think I may have to. Here's what
I don't have any problem with rocking
Okay.
mocks. I just don't have
I
any.
had a negative comment on it, so I was just throwing it out there.
What? Saying it's a bad thing?
saying that it was disrespectful because it's wearing your regalia outside of the dance arena. I wear moccasins all the time. I
And I think she was in reference to specific dance moccasins, like.
You know my thoughts about tradition and that kind of stuff.
yeah. Here's the thing, I think it's solidarity. I think when I'm walking around across campus and I see someone else with a pair of moccasins on, I think, all right. You know, and that's kind of what I think it is. Regalia, to me,
Looks to me like Kenny's rocking that sandwich over there.
I wear moccasins, but it's not regalia. I'm not a dancer, but I love moccasins. I'm native. I've been wearing moccasins since my very first baby picture is of me in a little pair of
You know,
moccasins.
I don't believe I've ever owned a pair.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have big fat feet?
I got Flintstone feet. I
That's
refer to
right,
them as
yeah.
Flintstone feet.
Even I have some.
Come
I have
on.
fat feet too. I
Shows-
have a little
you
trouble
have-
with the mini
You have
tonka.
Flintstone feet.
Yeah, I have trouble with mini tonka, but I still rock it. If you would ever start
See,
wearing
and-
moccasins,
see, and
you would never wear
I
anything else.
need the
They're
arch
so
support
comfortable.
because I have, I just need that.
I have flat feet, so it's good. But I put this out on Facebook. I shared it. I think anything that shows solidarity that is not demeaning, that is not stepping on the culture, which I don't believe in this case it
Technically,
is.
aren't you stepping on moccasins when you wear them? So, oh, she stepped over the line.
And his wife's not even here, so.
That's why she's getting so bold.
I saw John downstairs. I invited him up. I'm being nice to him now because he's going to be on Team Cindy.
Who?
John Powers.
Did you?
Team Cindy.
Is he sponsoring you?
I didn't ask yet.
You
I
can
was
have
just
him.
nice to him. We'll call it
You
Team
can have
Cindy.
powers. Hey, are we going to break out the big announcement?
Break it.
Oh, good, I'll let you.
Okay, well, we don't have a lot of details because we just had one initial phone conversation to see if this was economically feasible. We have determined that it's economically feasible, but that's all we have determined so far. We are not at the point yet where we are really making any plans, but Vision Makers Media and the University of Nebraska at Omaha, Department of Multicultural Affairs and Native Studies are sponsoring our first ever film festival in Omaha, Nebraska. We will have a 3-day film festival. It will start Friday night. There will be films all day Saturday and films all day Sunday. Part of what our mission was, and we shared with them, is we would like to showcase Nebraska talent. We have a young man who, it was the 40-year anniversary of Wounded Knee, and we have one of the original AIM members in our community in Omaha, Donnell Keeler. Ed sponsored them to go up and sponsored the filmmaker
Native
to go
American
with him.
Studies did.
Native American Studies sponsored the filmmaker to go up with him, and they've made a film, Wounded Knee 40 years later. We would like that to be one of our capstone films. Well, what we're hoping and praying is that this goes so well that every year the community will be able to count on Native American Month having a film festival by the University of Nebraska at Omaha. What tends to happen, we're a very small, very tight community. So Native Heritage Month comes and we all feel like we have to have 4 or 5 events. We had 2 years ago, we had Donnell Keeler. Well, he was at Creighton, he was at Metro, so really we're doing a lot of overkill. Ed and I feel like
Overlap, not
overlap.
overkill.
Ed and I feel like one big event is fabulous. So it looks like we're going to be having a film festival. We don't have any details yet. We haven't, like we said, Vision Makers Media is going to carry the heavy work on this project. A lot of what we will be doing will just be support, especially since clearly we don't know what we're doing. I've never put out a film festival. I would have no idea. We are looking to get some big talent. And would you like to share that? Oh, and when you say one of the names, I'll have to qualify it. The girls in Winnebago schooled me yesterday.
Go ahead. You've been doing,
Shaskay Spencer will be coming. And for those of you who don't know who
we
he is,
probably shouldn't say will be coming.
we're going to try. Like I said at the beginning of this, nothing is in stone. There has been no meetings. There has just been a
Although-
feasibility study.
Although Vision Maker Media
Yes,
has been working with him in the past
yes.
to promote some of his films and has indicated a desire to continue to work with them. So it was our understanding, and they were thinking that they could pull this off, so we're counting on it.
And you know, for this first year, basically, we're following Vision Maker Media's lead. We will do what they want to do. My guess is they're going to do 90% of the planning, and we're going to pay for it and show up. But for
And take
those of
credit for
you,
it.
for those of you who don't know who Shaskay Spencer is, he
How
was
did you pronounce it?
Shaskay.
Not Chaske?
I don't know.
I thought you said they were going to correct
No,
you.
the girls schooled me on who he really was.
Who he really
He's Ben
was.
in Twilight. Ben the werewolf in Twilight.
Ben?
Ben the werewolf.
How'd you get, I thought it was supposed to be like a traditional shapeshifter, and then his name is Ben?
Yep.
How traditional is Ben?
How many werewolves do you know?
I don't know, but I wouldn't think they'd be called Ben,
But so
especially if they're
him.
native.
They also.
Oh, wait, Kenny,
Okay,
would
go
you
ahead.
think of a native werewolf and call him Ben? You come up with some other,
I don't think they really,
even his real name, Chaske.
I don't think they really went the native. I think it was people, he was a werewolf named Ben. Why can't an Indian?
We've got Kenny, the native
Excuse
vampire over
me,
here.
You racist man. Why can't an Indian be named Ben?
No, I'm not saying it can't be, but you know, if you're
I'm
if you're
thinking there's
playing
a
up,
small
if
amount
you're
of
playing, Kenny,
racism
if you're playing up the
here.
native angle,
But they did it.
you'd come up with a
Twilight
more
didn't
traditional
necessarily
name
play
than
up the
Ben.
native
No,
angle.
no offense to those named Ben. My son-in-law is named Ben,
Is he Indian?
and
Ben Nosler, Native
No.
American?
No,
I'm
I-
just saying, I have cousins named Ben, so I'm totally fine with the name.
that's what I'm saying.
You just have to argue with me
I don't
just
have
to
a-
be arguing with
No,
me.
I don't have a problem with the name Ben, but if they're playing up the angle of Cassie, you'd agree with me, wouldn't you? On this one, if they're playing up the
They weren't
native
playing up
werewolf,
they weren't playing up the native. No, he was just a guy who was a werewolf.
it was just a.
Guy who was a werewolf. They had white ones, they had African-American ones, there was no race. This was just werewolf or person.
Named Ben. All right, all right.
Okay. so
I'll
there
go
we're
with
good,
that.
we're good. Also, a Native American workshop for future filmmakers, future actresses to come and learn a little bit about the trade has been talked about. But like I said, as soon as Vision Maker Media gives us more information, we'll have more information. Until then, we're following their lead
And writing a check.
and writing a check.
But that should be a great event. And we told them,
The first weekend in November.
but not only that, we told them what though about opening this up to the community.
Well, the thing is they said, what do you want to charge? And I almost laughed out loud. I've known you how many years now?
Too many.
7, 8
Way
years?
too many, Kenny.
Never once in the history of those 8 years has Ed Zendejas charged for
Or pay for anything.
at
Unless we
UNO.
have a coupon.
So this will be free and open to the public. We are right now checking into the possibility of maybe showing a couple of them at Exarban Theater. We're looking at
There are
showing
many
some of them
options.
at UNO. We're looking at maybe showing something at Joslin, but like I say, until Vision Maker Media tells us what they've got planned, we really don't have details.
A lot of it
anything.
depends on the licensing
Exactly.
agreements to show these films and
Exactly.
which ones of the producers that they get. Because they sent us a proposal of films, and so now what they wanted, and we said, yeah, we can work within a certain dollar amount. And they said, think we can make this happen. So now they're trying to get, the producers, the owners of these films, their permission or what the fee structure will be. And they're gonna tell them, all right, here's our parameters that we're working in, and they wanna do this without charging the community, and hopefully we'll get a better rate. And once they come back with the films that they got approval, then we'll be able to get a better idea, but there's.
Well, have you picked up the phone and called your bro? Can't he
I was
get,
waiting.
can't he help with approval on Winter in the Blood?
No, he's just
He was an
acting
actor in it.
Yeah, but it's not like he doesn't own the rights to it. He's probably hoping to get paid too still.
Is the producer native?
I don't know.
Was the director native?
No, but the writer of the novel was.
James Welsh?
Yes.
James Welsh?
James Welsh.
Non-native? Is this going to be a film that's going to be released or just an art film?
No, it's going to be released. They're looking for like nationwide release.
Wow, smoke
So-
signals.
So we'll be, maybe we can bill it as the Midwest premiere.
Oh, speaking of films, I'd like to break off just a little because this made me laugh till I thought I was going to cry. The film, the next in the series of the Pirates of the Caribbean, has been shelved because Johnny Depp doesn't have the power to bring it on because Lone Ranger and Tonto lost $196 million.
I think we talked about this last week, didn't you?
Did we?
You mocked him, yeah.
Oh, I want to mock him again.
You wanna
Let's
mock it? It's
keep
worthy
up.
of wall of
Can I tell
shame.
this story every week?
Every week.
There will be no more Pirates of the
You're hurting
Caribbean
Cassie's
because-
feelings over there.
think 3 was enough anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, listen to her now.
Yeah.
3
You
was
know
enough.
what? And since we've heard this news, has anybody seen Johnny Depp at a powwow? No. What happened to that Black Hills? Wasn't he gonna buy
He was supposed to buy Wounded Knee.
My guess is he
And I
will
read where-
never tell anybody he's an Indian again, nor will he probably ever speak to a native
I've read
again.
where it's actually going on the auction block.
Oh, that's
So
bad.
apparently Johnny didn't step up
Yeah,
and
no.
buy it like everybody said he would, but
Yeah. So was he really native, or was he just using it to forward the film?
to buy some
Because-
goodwill for the
yeah,
film.
Yeah, do you think that's what was going on?
I don't know. I'm
And,
not gonna
you know,
judge him.
I don't care how cute he is, he's on the wall of shame. I don't care how good looking he is.
He's on the
he's
Wall of Shame Hall of Fame
For life,
for life.
for life, for life.
Cassie's gonna be mad at us.
Beth will be calling. Bethel, you'll be getting a call from Beth.
I still like him as an actor.
I liked him in Edward Scissorhands.
Scissors
I
hand?
liked him in, as Barnabas Collins in Dark Shadows. Do you remember that when you were a kid, Dark
Old school.
Shadows?
Yeah.
My mom, every day, we had to watch Dark Shadows with Barnabas
That was a soap opera, wasn't
Collins.
it?
Yes. A
See,
soap
and that's
opera
the-
about
that's the-
vampires.
Genesis of the soap. That was Twilight.
Yeah.
Before Twilight was Twilight.
You know, before Twilight, we had, what were those? The Vampire Lestat, those movies. They were before that. The scariest vampire movie ever, though, was the one with Gary Oldham
That was
as the
scary.
vampire. And
Back in the
someone
day
famous
when
made that.
was back in the day when Tonto was an Indian.
But the scariest one of all was one of the original German-made, Silent.
Yes,
That was-
with
Now we're
Bela
dating
Lugosi or Lon
ourselves.
Chaney. Lon Chaney.
This is another.
Kenny, back when they didn't even have audio for the
Check it out
See, that's how
sometime.
old-
Silent.
I do like a good vampire movie, but I never got. You know what? Too many kids were into Twilight. I've never seen it. Maybe sometime I'll watch the Twilight, but that Robert Pattinson and his girlfriend just never really appealed to me on any level.
Kenny, do we have anybody listening to us?
We didn't put it out. I don't even have my
It's on
computer to put it on. Because we all know I'm the one who has
It's
friends.
on mine. I don't even think maybe my kids are listening.
How, I would like to
Gretchen's
know,
listening.
I would like to know from Chris Channel and Frankie Hanna how that test went this morning.
Oh, shall we, since she mentioned Gretchen, so we announce the new officers?
Oh, hey, we had our first intertribal student council meeting Tuesday night. And
Intertribal, everybody,
Where's
come on
talking
out and
stick?
vote.
Talking stick. And it was amazing. You know, last year the boys were in charge, and God, I love them so much because they never fight. But they also don't do much. Intertribal meetings were me trying to push them into doing something and them laughing at each other and telling stories. So, our first intertribal student council
No
meeting
guys.
was Tuesday.
No guys.
The women have once again taken the helm, and we've already got meeting notes from the last meeting out. Hello. So our new, what do you call it? What, the leadership, the new leadership, is that what you would say? Or
Yeah.
the officers?
Officers.
Our new officers are as follows. Gretchen Carroll is our president. Frankie Hanna is our vice president. Tara Thomas is our secretary, and Carol Redwing is our treasurer. Can I say hallelujah? They've already started talking about raffle tickets and raffle prizes for powwow. They're already talking about bake sales.
Kenny couldn't make it into the leadership position? Like director of communications or,
I'm sure the girls would find a place for you, Kenny.
there's no room for?
So we will be meeting twice a month on Tuesdays. From 6 to 6:30, we will be doing business, and then from 6:30 to 8, we'll be meeting. So I told the girls, get together any projects you'd like, and I will make sure that the appropriate person is there to teach. You know who's teaching
Who's
moccasins.
teaching?
You know who's teaching moccasins?
No.
Monica.
Does
You know
she
who's
know that?
teaching? She will. She will.
On Tuesdays?
I will every other Tuesday. And it's
Do
just
you remember what else we're doing on Tuesday?
prime time. Well, you're not invited every week.
No, we're doing South High School.
It's not till 6 p.m.
I know, but she's also
Anyway,
helping
so
with-
also, I will be teaching loom beading.
my wife has no clue.
Actually, Liz
she's gonna be
Lovejoy
doing
can. Okay, Monica's out. We'll have Liz Lovejoy. Liz Lovejoy can teach moccasins. She can teach how to make those big earrings with the mirror or whatever on the inside of it. I teach loom beading. My friend Andrea can teach peyote stitch and brick stitch. Yes, so we've pretty got, and I'm getting together some lists of supplies that they'll need, depending on what they want to learn how to do.
So is there anything for the guys to
instance,
do?
Hey, Cornelius is already well into his moccasins. My grandfather taught me how to bead. I would love to see Chris Channel make something for his brand new baby girl. Her first jewelry made by her dad. I could cry right now thinking about it.
That
Made
is so
by her
chick-like,
dad.
huh, Kenny?
Oh, and it's going to help a lot. Tara Thomas is a parent of a youngster who she wants him to start dance. Well, I'll help her with his regalia. That's what we do. And you know, the more people, the more time we spend together beading and just talking, the more we grow as a group. It's a way of building interdependence to get everybody close. This year so far is kicking our ass.
Our what?
Up and down. You heard me. ASS.
You know what? I'd have to agree with you. This has been the hardest year I've ever had here.
Students in my office, well, you know what? It's because we're getting better. So more is expected. I have more students than we've ever had, and there's more problems that accompany that. We're in more programs than we've ever been involved in.
That's your fault.
Now we're going to,
You know what she did? She volunteered us to do this program into like 2 more high schools. I'm like,
Well, actually, only me. The only thing I need you to do.
that's not what I heard.
The only thing you're going to need to do is give each of the classes a 1-hour presentation on the mascots, and then I come in. We're going to be doing an anti-mascot PSA, which is really going to be amazing. We're going to have some of the Intertribal Student Council members. We already have Gretchen Carroll, Tyrell Pierce, Carol Redwing, Cornelius Kincaid, and that's just to start. So we will be working with them, and it's going to be, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 Saturdays doing this, working with them, and then we'd like to show the PSA at the
I'm
film
going to tell
festival.
my wife you hit me.
I did.
She hit me.
I hit him, Monica. I tried to push him off the chair, but he's like a roly-poly. He bounced right back up.
No, you aimed for the head.
Speaking of the mascot issue, that senator,
Oh, have you ever heard of Congresswoman Betty McCollum?
No.
Congresswoman Betty McCollum, co-chair of the Congressional Native American Caucus, last week announced her endorsement of the Change the Mascot campaign, which aims to change the name of the Washington Redskins. The Oneida Indian Nation of New York initiated this campaign to urge the NFL and the Redskin owner, Dan Snyder, to end its use of the team name. First of all, you know what? He's not going to do anything. Can we just hope he's old and near death?
You know what I thought was a better name than change the name? What I put out was called Mascots No More.
Yep.
yeah.
Isn't that a cooler name?
Yeah, but some of the mascots are like Herbie Husker. Who does he affect?
No,
So you
no,
can't
no,
really
no,
attack
no,
all
no,
mascots,
no,
which is what
You didn't
that
see
sounds like.
No. See, what I did was, and maybe I should show you, should post it. Hopefully it'll go viral, but I don't think so. See, she's talking about wanting to drink some more. You'll have plenty of time to hit the liquor cabinet.
I've been here
after this
since
is over.
7. I've been here since 7:30 this morning. What time did you come?
I woke up at like 7 o'clock today.
What time did you come?
What time did I come? 10 o'clock.
Guess what time I'll be here tomorrow morning?
10 o'clock?
7 a.m.
Well, good for you.
Yes. So if
Back
I
to-
want to have a drink of water to wet my whistle, by God, man, I'm going to do
Water,
it. And
I
you
have
know
no
what?
problem with the
And
water.
let me just share with you, at this point in time, as tired as I am, you're walking a fine line, Zendejas, a fine line.
When you mix it with that stuff that Jack Daniels puts together, then I have trouble.
You know what's so
concerns.
sad? I don't even have time if I wanted to have a cocktail anymore. By the time I go home, I have to do homework, and then it's bedtime and time to get up and do it again. When are we going to get to relax?
Never.
Would you quit being more successful so I don't have to do as much?
No, I'm not.
Would you
I'm
like to do a
not
little talking about
successful.
what is, oh, you're selling yourself short. Would you like to share about the emergency tribal management?
I already did last week, remember?
Tell them what we're doing again. This is our weekly radio show. What has been spoken about since? Who's getting involved? Who visited campus last week and met with BJ and them?
Oh, we
Let's
had
talk about that.
we had the president of Nebraska Indian Community College come down.
Because we have buy-in from the tribes, which is essential to this program.
We had lunch.
Would you explain to me who ITEMA is and what they do?
ITEMA is a national organization. It stands for, the I is kind of like iPad, iPod, it's a little short I. It's just, you know how everybody puts an eye in front of somebody?
Everybody.
Everybody does. And they did too.
Okay, so it's just TEMA.
So it would be TEMA,
Okay, and what does that stand for?
Tribal Emergency Management Association.
You know what else I found out? How many programs like this are there in the United States?
None.
We're the first.
We're gonna be the first.
We will be the one and only
We are going to
emergency.
set the standard,
We are going to set
which is
the
pretty
bar.
scary.
We're good. I don't have a bit of fear about that. We're good.
But we're gonna be starting this, and
You should see Ed in those meetings. Man, you wouldn't even know it was him. Every once in a while, I have to look and think, who are you? Because he puts on his lawyer face,
I can do that.
and there we go.
Will that surprise you?
We went out to lunch. The president of NICC comes down, and we're all going out to lunch, and the waitress spilled
Spills.
pop all over the dean
And
of
me.
CPACs. I don't care about you.
I was gonna say, I got,
The dean of CPACs. I couldn't even breathe because, I always want to, I have that bad laugh response. And when stuff like that happens, I always want to laugh. Plus, I was a waitress. Do you know how much stuff I spilled on people?
I imagine a lot.
It was pretty, and he was really cool about it, but I wanted to laugh. I really did.
I was cool about it.
No, he was.
He was.
You were fine, as long as they brought you another pop, pour it on my head.
Yeah. Go ahead, just
Go ahead.
refill.
Go ahead. But I was really impressed. The University of Nebraska at Omaha is throwing the resources behind us to make this happen. And only 2 schools were in the running. 2 schools were in the finals. Us and Texas. We have more Indians here. and
North Texas.
North Texas, and a native director of Native Studies. Hello? Hello? So I'm hoping this all takes off because you're going to let me teach there and retire, aren't you?
No.
He meant yes.
So when will more of this come together?
Oh, my
When-
goodness,
yes, when
even
will it be
Cassie's
coming
putting
together,
pressure
and
on me.
when will there be emergency management classes, emergency tribal management? There's already an emergency management program. But when will the emergency tribal manage? And is it just for undergrads or undergrads and grads?
We're gonna start with a certificate program.
2-year associate?
No, that would be an associate's program.
Okay, so explain a certificate
A
to me to
certificate
start.
is for example, tribal employees who want to just take, for example, like 12 credit hours, just designated entirely for basics in tribal or in emergency management principles, and coupled with knowledge about federal Indian law, policy, governance, how it interacts with the federal government, because that's the key to this, is that, the way that the federal law is set up, when there's a disaster, the states have to ask the federal government, the governors have to declare a disaster area. For example, in Colorado,
Yep.
the governor would have to claim that there's a natural disaster, and then a federal government, to qualify for federal, what they call Stafford Act funds, so that, they could help with the cleanup and help with, if someone's house gets washed away, that kind of stuff. But there wasn't a provision for tribes that if it were to happen within, for example, Navajo has been
It
flooded
just
out.
did, yeah.
Yeah, so under the previous Stafford Act, Navajo would have to wait for the state to declare, the governor to declare an emergency. So we're at the whim of the state government. So Stafford Act was amended so that tribes could declare that and then become eligible for federal disaster relief. But in order to do that, tribes have to be trained in emergency management preparedness. So what we're trying to do is provide the curriculum and the course of study so that tribal employees, governments can be trained and therefore be certified so that they're eligible to receive these federal funds. So that's what we're trying to do.
Will they have
So
to
there's-
come to UNO to
It will
take
be
these
online.
classes? It
The
will be
beauty of it.
online.
So there's the 12, 14, 15-hour, we're still working on those details, certificate that can be rolled over into an associate's degree. So we're bringing in the tribal community colleges so that we can incorporate into their curriculum, a tribal emergency management program. And once they do that, if they get an associate's degree, we're talking about articulation agreements. So
Yeah.
if they graduate from a tribal community college, all those credit hours will transfer here to the University of Nebraska Omaha, so that they could either get a bachelor's degree in either Native American Studies with an emphasis in emergency management, or emergency management with an emphasis with
Does
tribal
this mean we'll
Native
get a
studies.
major in tribal, in Native?
We're
in Native
hoping that
studies?
this sets all kinds of precedent for us to be able to do all kinds of things, and hopefully the possibilities are endless.
Is the paperwork going to be endless as well?
Yes.
Heavy load on the paperwork?
I don't know, it's gonna kill me.
Okay,
That's
I'll
gonna
know.
be my demise.
See, and I'm good at paperwork. You're good at the big ideas, I'm good at making it happen. Would you just hire me full-time?
I'd like to.
I'd like you to. I think about 80,000.
And
I'm good.
Eric Sherman, who was just here, was our graduate assistant.
Mhm.
So that's what we hope to do.
Well, and you know what I like what you're doing is you're using homegrown talent in it. You know, people that have been here at the University of Nebraska.
Kenny, is it debatable that we can consider
Oh, I'm your
Cynthia's
best
talent?
talent. What would you do without me?
So it isn't something you hope will happen, and
I would
it's
probably
gonna happen,
resign.
It's just a matter of when, right?
Right. I think we're looking at going in the spring. Am I right? Are you looking at a spring launch? Or fall of 2014?
Probably fall. We're still working out the details with the tribal community college.
Well, and I'll tell you what, if I've learned nothing about the university, nothing happens at
Overnight.
anything past a snail's pace, because you have to talk to 710 different people before you are allowed to.
But the good thing is
Go
that we
on.
have the support of the upper echelon of administration.
God bless the Chancellor of the University of Nebraska at
Vice
Omaha.
Chancellor.
God bless B.J. Reed, Vice Chancellor. God bless Dr. Daniel Shipp, Vice
Palema
Chancellor.
Maurice.
God bless Palema Maurice, Vice Chancellor. If we wouldn't have had the backing of those men, we would not be going anywhere. And you know, since I've been here, I have never felt this supported by the upper echelon.
We
They-
feel loved.
They promised to pay for powwow this year, didn't they?
Did we get that in writing?
We didn't get that in writing.
Man.
But if we don't make you beg for raffle tickets, can we make you beg for powwow money?
No, I ain't begging no more.
So you
No
just.
more begging.
Here's what it'll be. I'll send out emails. Dear Chancellor Christensen, we're hoping we can count on your contribution.
Ed's got to bring his pickle jar and hope
I
for your money.
know.
No. Well, shall we, is there anything else?
What else we got to talk about?
I don't know.
I know I've got stuff. I am exhausted. This semester, so, you know what? I don't have a weekend off until the end of October.
It's kicking my butt.
I know it. But you know what? It could be the opposite. I could be sitting in my office and there could be no kids coming in to see me. Nobody told us that the better we do, the more work we'd have.
I would rather sit around doing nothing.
Somehow I thought that there would be more than just you and me developing this entire program.
No, it's not me. It's not. So hopefully we'll, I yearn for the days where all I had to do is just come and teach.
Those are the days I'm looking forward to.
See, then that's when I golfed a lot. I don't golf anymore, Kenny.
You got to have some fun.
I know.
You have grandchildren. That's
I do.
better than golf.
Yeah, but they're not here though.
But still,
Well, I have 3 that are here, but, I mean, it's not like, every day we can,
you know what, though? I
Anything.
really have to say the grandkids, thank God I am not a 50-year-old woman having children. I took the grandkids overnight, and then we went to the zoo from 10 to 4:30, and I drove them back to Lincoln. I had to take to my bed. I came home, I was down. The next day, we went out and had lunch. I came home and went right back to bed.
are we doing any wall of shame?
I already Johnny Depped us.
You already depped?
I depped.
We already discussed that.
We
Huh?
dipped into
Kept
depth.
it.
We
Any
dipped
other-
into depth.
Any other wall of shame?
Can we name actual people we know?
It depends.
Now, Cindy,
Ooh, I
Ooh.
got chastised.
Yeah.
Oh, Grandmother's Circle. Did you tell them about Grandmother's Circle? Good. We don't need to talk about anything. Cassie's got us.
Cassie, you just
Thank
covered
God,
everything.
Cassie, because I never remember anything.
there's so much going on.
Cass,
right now.
Cassie is, are you going to the powwow Saturday?
Yes, I'll probably go in the evening.
I will be there during the day. We'll tag team.
Check us out at the primetime table. We'll be over there.
Are you promoting primetime?
Oh,
See-
they didn't mention I'm promoted on KIOS and Morning Blend.
I can't
Oh,
wait to
she's-
see Cassie on TV.
She's reporting it on the
I
real
know.
media. Remember who gave you your start?
Real media.
Remember who gave you your start now, Cassie?
I will.
Me.
Cassie, you're gonna promote us? You're gonna promote Native Honor Hours?
No, she is promoting.
I wish I could.
Yeah, you
Metro
can. On
Powwow.
Facebook, you
She's
can.
promoting Metro
Have you ever
Powwow.
shared our?
Power.
Have you ever shared Native Honor Hour posters on your Facebook page? No.
Cassie doesn't have internet at home. She has no
Yeah, I
vehicle
don't
to
Well,
do
she
that.
gets it here on campus. She has a Facebook account.
But she comes right before the radio show, and poor woman, we drag her down here for a radio show that,
I thought
thank
we
God
were.
Monica gives her a sandwich, or else it would just be, do your business and get out, old
I thought we
woman.
were gonna cancel our radio show
When?
after
Forever?
this week. I thought we were gonna give a couple weeks to get our listenership up. Were we?
No. Are you?
Hey, did you get those flyers?
What flyers?
Oh,
Remember, you're gonna make
Eddie.
some flyers, so I could, at the powwows.
Wouldn't that be nice if at Metro we had
Promote
powwow
the-
posters?
The radio show?
Yep,
Okay, I'll budget $5 for copies for the.
good.
It can't be.
You have a printer, you can make them on the little flyer. You know what I'm talking about, Monica, the little, yes.
It can't be color
Bring
because
them
then
to
we'd
the
use our
primetime
color
table
printer. We can't do
and I'll
that.
promote that at the same time.
Yes, we will.
Will you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, we should probably put featuring Cassie's Corner in there. Should we do that?
Cassie's Corner. Yes, yes, let's put featuring Cassie's Corner. And if my picture has to be on there with this one, so does Cassie's.
You know,
Maybe me and Cassie on either side.
you know who Keith Fix is, right?
I do, I want you to get me in to see him for our
Anyway,
Indian market.
Keith was telling me that as a 12-year-old, he had an internet radio program. He said he had 4,000 listeners. They're like, man, we can't even get 7.
does he get 4,000 listeners?
Have you ever sent
He's
our
a promoter.
poster to Indian Country Today?
What's that?
Have you sent our poster to Indian Country Today?
You'd have to pay for that.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, you
No, they have a thing where they will promote what's going on in the native
You know, if we could,
community.
you know how Indians.com has Native America Calling?
Mhm.
We should get a link to that.
Here's our problem. Do we really want to accept phone calls?
Well, no, but we could put a link to our radio show. Who'd want to talk to people?
You know what would
on a-
scare me? We'd be answering, God, blah, blah, blah," and we'd both, well, neither one of us would know what to do, and we would both freak out and ended up just keep hanging up on people.
If we had.
Meredith, quit calling.
Well, you
We've had it with you, Zendejases.
know, if we
Quit
ever had a
using that
real
filthy
radio show,
language.
yeah, we probably would freeze.
What about the people who would call and complain about us on the radio show? I'd say kiss my rosy red butt and we'd be off the air.
That's true.
I know.
You'd probably cuss.
Well, you know what, here's
You
the
know,
thing.
we should do though. We should probably bring a package of M&Ms, the peanut ones, and place them in front of Cindy, and then is she gonna hit me?
My eyes are dangerously squinty, Zendejas.
You know, we're about done, aren't we, Kenny?
You know what the good news is? This radio show gives us once a week to sit down and laugh and actually have some
Essentially, just
fun.
talk to ourselves.
I said to Ed today, should we do the radio show?
No.
God. He was like, oh, no. I said, let's just do it. He said, oh.
I think there's just not enough people out there that realize that it's on.
You know what happens in our community, too? A lot of people just don't have internet access.
Yeah, they do, because I see them on Facebook all the time.
Yeah, but you can go to the library to get
It's
that.
always the regular old
Yeah.
ones all the
Well, they
time,
can listen to us
and-
at the library then.
They can go to, Everybody get off your asses and get to the library and listen to our radio show. There, was that
Are
a
you happy
good, was that
now?
a PSA?
Is that a PSA? Is that allowable?
I guess it's allowable.
Yeah, because we're
What's-
exercising our radio
You
sovereignty.
gotta make a fist when you say that, man.
Sovereign radio.
Have you ever made the aim fist in your life?
No,
You've never made the aim fist
if I've made a
in your
fist,
life?
it's not the aim fist,
We're exercising our radio sovereignty.
because I was never aim. I wasn't.
I still can't believe that
We're done.
Dennis Banks didn't marry me. I had planned when I was 16 years old to be Mrs. Banks, but hasn't happened.
You know your dad won't let
Goodbye,
that happen.
friends.
We'll see you maybe next week.
Let's get those posters made.